Oh! 3 people will win a £50 voucher to any Slim Chicken restaurant across the UK, and you can go there and order to your heart's content.
Why do you think I did that in the first place? I loved her. I didn't envy her or anything like that.
I have a couple of questions in there. If you're a female or a male, let's go with both. Apologies for kind of excluding you. I'd feel so weird being with somebody like that. I'd feel inadequate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It'd be a bit like if I'd...
This whole backing on. We could currently, right now, we could make it look like we're sat in a private jet. I think for me, the reason I like it is it makes me feel more masculine.
Yeah.
Because I was unhappy. So that's probably...
There's definitely like scope for people to take advantage as well. So I can imagine like... Hello and welcome to the Confessional podcast. I am your co-host Kimmi K, and we also have the Rickster with us as well.
Hello! How are you, Kimmi?
Good, yeah.
Good.
All good.
What have you been up to?
I'm not vaping.
Oh! Well done! Well done!
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's huge. How do you feel?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get this out of the way. So, schedule is changing ever so slightly. So, we're going to be posting one full episode each week, obviously, and you'll be able to catch that on Spotify, Apple Play, hopefully Amazon Music. We're going to pop it out on YouTube. We're also going to keep continuing with our clips, and they're going to be going out daily over all of our socials. And also on YouTube, we're going to be posting shorter versions of the whole episode. So you'll get kind of the best snippets of it, which should be around 8 to 9 minutes long each week. So you'll get a full episode, which is hopefully 30 to 35 minutes. You'll get a shorter kind of broken down version with all the best bits in. And then obviously you'll get the social clips going out on social media too. This week, we have an official first sponsor of 2025.
Hey.
And this week, the sponsor is Slim Chickens. Have you ever been to a Slim Chickens? Be honest.
I have not, no.
So, Slim Chickens is obviously way better than Wingstop. So, how this came about is, I have a 15-year-old sister who lives with me. Wingstop was all over social media last year, and it was her birthday. I took her into Bristol. I was like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for lunch? And she was like, I really want to go to Wingstop. And I was like, okay, cool. So, we went to Wingstop, tagged them on my social media, and I'm not just saying this because Slim Chickens is the best. I truly did not enjoy the experience. The food was cold. It wasn't incredibly tasty. Maybe I just had a bad experience because I have had a couple of people go, oh, Wingstop's amazing. So maybe my experience was just poor. Anyway, I then went to Slim Chickens because there's one local to where I live, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I mean thoroughly enjoyed it. So obviously I tagged them on Instagram, was like, oh, food's amazing. Anyway, they kind of replied into my DM, and we've been kind of backing and forthing, and I've posted them a few times on my Instagram now. So I thought I would reach out to them and be like, hey, 2025, we've got the Confessional Podcast 2.0. We're changing the direction of things that we do. Would you be willing to give a couple of vouchers away to our listeners? And they're like, perfect timing. So I'm going to read this from my phone only because I don't want to get it wrong, because they've sent me, they're launching 2 new products on January 15th of this year across all Slim Chicken restaurants. And they are currently about to launch Hot Rub Wings, and that's our hand-breaded wings coated in fiery hot rub seasoning, which to me, I am such a fan of chicken wings. It sounds delicious. But if you don't like meat on the bone, they are also launching boneless bites. That's the wing alternative. Our boneless bites are buttermilk marinated and hand breaded. Their full menu is fresh and cooked to order. And they are giving away 3 times £50 vouchers. 3 people will win a £50 voucher to any Slim Chicken restaurant across the UK, and you can go there and order to your heart's content and hopefully try their new products that they are launching. I think it sounds amazing.
Am I allowed to enter?
No, you're not allowed. Well, I don't know. I guess you can enter. But I think how we're going to do this is, how we want the people to enter is they have to go onto our website, find our YouTube, they have to subscribe to our YouTube, screenshot that, then they need to post on their Instagram and tag the Confessional Podcast. They need to tag Slim Chickens UK, and their @ is exactly Slim Chickens with an S on the end, and then UK. Slim Chickens UK, and then they need to tag 3 friends. You just have to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, take a screenshot of that, post it onto your Instagram story, tagging the Confessional Podcast, Slim Chickens UK, and then tag 3 friends. And then what that will do is that will enter you into a draw, and then we will do a live draw on Instagram through the Confessional Podcast. So that means people can get their voucher codes in preparation. They can find a local Slim Chicken restaurant to them, and then they can go and obviously indulge themselves in £50 worth of food. So just to remind you again, you need to go to our website, subscribe to our YouTube, take a screenshot, then upload that onto your story on Instagram, tag the Confessional Podcast, Slim Chickens UK, and then what we will do is we will do a draw. We will do a draw of everybody that's entered that, and 3 lucky winners will win a £50 voucher to Slim Chickens UK. I just want to say a huge thank you to Slim Chickens. They truly are a fantastic sponsor. Their food is actually fantastic. I've visited their restaurant more than I would care to admit, but yeah, it's actually delicious. Their food's always piping hot, very, very tasty, and all the staff whichever restaurant I've been to have been super friendly. Go and do that, and yeah, enter to win. Thank you very much.
I've just had a look, and there's literally restaurants all over the country, so it's not just a tiny little shop, it's a big whole.
Correct.
It's a big company, and they're everywhere, like the whole of the country.
How many do they have in total? Does it say?
There's literally loads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's loads. They're everywhere. So wherever you are, there will be a Slim Chickens near you.
There will be. That's
I've
amazing.
got 3 near me.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've got one in the town I live, and it makes me incredibly happy because they do children's menus. They obviously do adult menus. They do share kind of baskets. It's kind of everything comes in baskets in the form of a basket, and they do heaps of really good sides. One of my personal favourite sides is fried pickles.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, they're sensational. And they also do onion rings, but it's not in your kind of typical shape of a ring. It's basically kind of onion shavings which have been fried, and they're like tiny bits, and they're really quick. Honestly,
oh yeah,
you must go. It's actually delicious.
I might go later.
It's a very, very tasty place to go. So yeah, go and check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. Oh,
Right.
how excited!
Let's get into the podcast. Do we have a confession?
I have got some confessions. I want to talk about something really, really serious today.
Okay.
I think we can have a little bit of a back and forth.
Yes.
So, but we'll do the nice confession first.
Yes. So we'll do a confession.
And then we'll get into the serious.
We will, because me and Kimmy, we have quite different views on things. So, yes, I don't know if I'm more narrow-minded. I don't know. Oh, no, let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's
go.
get into it.
You can decide.
So here's a confession. I did something bad to my friend. I don't know why. So a couple of years ago, I had this really good friend who took care of me and was always in the loop with every single detail about our friendship. She was 10 out of 10. We worked at the same place, and she met a supervisor and immediately got into him. She started telling me how she felt about him, and he was super nice, handsome and tall. Then they had a date and had sex.
Oh, she was
super excited about it. She said it was great, one of the best she's ever had in her life, and I was happy for her. They were still talking, but one day this guy started texting me, telling me how cute I was and that he felt nothing for my friend.
Cheeky boy.
That she'd misunderstood everything and he didn't want anything to do with her. Then he asked me to go to his place. I didn't like this guy at all, but I said yes. So I went to his house and we had sex. It was the worst sex ever. Super lame and quick. He had a tiny package, and not to mention the fact that his room was an absolute mess. Everything was just horrible. I really don't know why I did that. I feel horrible as a person and as a friend. I didn't like this guy, and since that day I haven't been able to look at my friend's eyes. I also took distance and we are not friends anymore, but this is something that I still regret and still feel bad about. Why do you think I did that in the first place? I loved her. I didn't envy her or anything like that.
I have a couple of questions in that. Is height such a big factor for females? Because her friend said to her, he's really handsome and tall. Is height such a big factor?
Not for me, but I'm 5'2", so
yeah. You need to have a very short king.
Yeah, my brother's the same height as me, and I can imagine that he gets some stick for that. But yeah, it's not really an issue for me. I don't know. Well, people do like tall people, don't they?
Question: if you're a female or a male, let's go with both. Apologies for kind of excluding you. Is height in your male companion or female companion, is it a huge factor? Like, is it really such a big factor?
Like, would you go for someone that's taller than you, like a woman that's taller than you?
Personally, I'm attracted to shorter women.
Okay.
So for me, personally, no.
So height is a factor for you, but the other way round?
I think for me, the reason I like it is it makes me feel more masculine. Not that a tall woman emasculates me in any respect, but it's just what I'm more attracted to.
Okay.
Personally. I don't think it looks odd if a woman is taller than a man or a man is taller than a woman. I really don't think it is. But I just see a lot on social media where women go, unless they're 6 foot or over.
I've seen that quite a bit as well, like on these channels where they do What's Your Red Flag?
That's right.
Not over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't personally get that. I don't understand that at all, but there is...
I think there's this thing. I think there's... I'm not going to say this because I'm probably going to be wrong and somebody will quote me and tell me that I'm full of absolute nonsense when my phone decides. I want to know what the statistics are. What are the statistics of men over 6 foot? Because I believe it's not a huge percentage.
No.
People's height and weights are all roughly bell-shaped and symmetrical around a central value called the mean. In the US population, only 14.5% of men are over 6 foot.
Oh.
Only 14, and that's just in the US, are over 6 foot. That's in the UK, a man who is 6 foot is 75.3 percentiles, means he's taller than 75% of the UK male population.
Wow.
And a woman who's 5'7" or taller is 88%.
Okay.
That's mad, isn't it? So
Yeah.
basically only 25% of men in the UK are 6 foot or over. So it's not a lot.
No,
So
it's quite
for that's a really difficult... So basically you've kind of gone from 100% of men to 25% of men, and you've decategorised the other 75%, whereas they could be 10 times nicer and you could have a 10 times better relationship with somebody who's 5'9" than somebody who's 6'1".
Yeah.
You're kind of limiting yourself, surely.
Some people get the ick about short men, but I don't understand it at all. It's like, I know someone that's got an ick for men that take bubble baths.
I can't find a bath where I could have a bubble bath. Like, I'm only 6 foot, but baths are nowhere near 6 foot, are they? Like, nowhere near. That's quite funny, though. That's quite funny.
That's another question, like, what's your weirdest ick? There must be one that's just odd. Have you got any weird icks?
I wouldn't say they're icks. I've got things which I find wholly unattractive.
What?
Spitting.
Yeah.
I think it's actually grotesque. Unless you're spitting because you have such a vile taste in your mouth that you need to get it out of you and you go, excuse me, I really have to spit. If you're just walking down the street and you spit, get in the bin. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's actually vulgar, isn't it? I know men that don't like women who smoke.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that. I think that's okay. Do I have an ick? Oh.
I've got one that's probably going to be a bit... Men that like football.
That's probably 90% of the male population.
Yeah, not like just watch it on the odd occasion. And men that are religious about football, that watch every single game and get so sucked into it. Oh yeah, I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
Gives me the
I did not know she was going to say that at all, by the way. Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't like it.
How? That's very interesting. I wonder why. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't follow football. I like it. I'm not against it. I'm not like, get in the bin. I'm really not. I just never grew up around football. I quite enjoy rugby and I like American football. But I'm still quite passionate about rugby and American football. So I get the passion behind following a team that I like. I get that passion.
It's the ones that live and breathe it, the ones that wear the shirt every single day. No, just don't. Just don't do it. It's an ick. It's a massive ick for me.
That's interesting. Is there anything else? Trainer socks on men.
No, I don't mind that.
That gives me the ick. And
do you know, I quite like feminine guys. I like guys with a bit of eyeliner or nail varnish. Yeah, I'm a bit of a...
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. I'm like a feminine guy.
Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're happy and you want to wear that, you do you. I think there are a lot of very masculine alpha... I say that in quotations, alpha men that would look at that and be like, you look like an idiot, take that off.
But that will definitely be a massive ick for some women as well, like guys that wear like makeup or nail varnish or whatever, that there will definitely be women that are like, oh god, no.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
Tell us what your biggest ick is, please. We want to know. Oh, I'm curious. I'd like to hear a lot of, I think I don't know if men's would be, which would be more outrageous. I think women's icks would be more outrageous than men's.
100%.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I don't think men are that fussy.
No, we're not. We're simple creatures, man. Feed us, fuck us, and give us back rubs, and I think we're good to go, aren't we? Like, that's it. Like,
but yeah, no, height's not an issue for me. What was the rest of it? Sorry, I forgot.
Apologies. Sorry, yeah. So, well, yeah, and then my second question is, for that confession, we are still talking about a confession, by the way.
Yeah.
My second question to that is, if she wasn't attracted to him or didn't like him, why did she go back to that person's house and sleep?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask as well. I don't understand. Like, they've even said, why did I do that? Well, I don't know, because that makes no sense to me.
Well, did she also work at the same place as a friend?
Yeah, so they worked together.
And he was the supervisor?
He was the supervisor.
So maybe it was a perks in the job thing?
I don't know. Like, she said that she doesn't envy the woman, but the woman was telling her that he was 10 out of 10 and she had
tall
the best
and
sex of her life. So maybe there was a bit of envy in there and she had to just sample it herself. I don't know.
Maybe she wanted the best sex of her life.
Yeah.
Turns out, and she also mentioned that he has a teeny tiny sausage.
And it wasn't great and his house was a mess. So it's kind of a bit karma, isn't it, that?
Here's another question. I'm going to keep chucking them out there. Is penis size a massive thing?
I want to say no, but
I think for some women it would be, of course.
It doesn't have to be massive, a monster penis. We don't need that. We definitely don't. Sometimes that's a bad thing as well. But in my experience, I've only slept with 2 people, obviously. The first one was teeny tiny. And it didn't do anything for me.
Right.
So it depends on your other skills, I think. If you've got other skills to back that up, then that's cool. If you're gonna make sure she's satisfied, then it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be mean and say no. Of course it's not, but yeah. Ugh.
I just think
it's a preference as well. Like, some guys like big boobs, some guys like small boobs. I think it's the same thing.
I think if you're not well endowed, like in respect of where it's kind of probably a lot smaller than average, I think you have to make sure your foreplay is on point.
100%. I think it doesn't matter what size it is, you need to make sure foreplay is on point.
Yeah,
that's the most important part for a woman, is getting a warmed up.
The warm up.
Yeah.
The warm up.
And I think sometimes guys with the bigger one, they think that that's all it's about, and they don't concentrate on the other stuff because they think they've got this magic weapon that can
literally a weapon.
Yeah, that can satisfy. And I think they like the smaller guys overcompensate with more foreplay, and the bigger guys tend to just not give a shit.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Let's see what the listeners think, because I'm very curious about that as well. Very, very. I'd like to hear from a male perspective how they feel if they have a very large one or if they feel they have a very small one, and how they feel. I'd like to know how it touches their ego.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm very normal. I think I'm a very normal size. I don't have any kind of, I'm not stressed or worried about the size. I never have been, really. But I'm fairly certain there will be people out there that feel that they are undersized, and I would love to know how that makes them feel. Does it make them feel inadequate or emasculated in some way, and why? I'd love to have a conversation about that, or kind of have somebody send something in about that we could discuss, because I think that's quite an important topic.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. It's the same with women though. Like, social media and porn have the perfect bodies and perfect weapons, and it's just not real life at all. Like,
no,
a woman's vagina doesn't always look nice and neat, and just
some of them look like a kebab with mayonnaise.
They
on,
do,
and that's fine.
Some of them
I quite
look
like a kebab,
a beef sandwich, but that's also fine.
Yeah, I respect that. yeah, of course. Nothing. So social media portrays people, a lot of people anyway. Some people are very raw and very honest, but some people, social media portrays people in the perfect fashion, doesn't it? Whereas that is just not reality. Like, not everyone looks pristine and perfect. Not everybody's house is perfectly clean and well presented. Not everybody's child is perfectly behaved. Not everyone is a nice person, but online they will come across as a nice person. Not everyone has this lifestyle that you can be anything you want on social media.
Of course you can.
Like,
literally anything.
We currently have a green screen behind us. Yes, we're in the same room, but then obviously we have an amazing producer and editor that kind of puts this whole backing on. We could currently, right now, we could make it look like we're sat in a private jet.
Yeah, we could.
and we're flying, and then we could put in pictures of us on a beach in the most secluded and do you know what I mean? Like, so social media is not real, is it? Like, it's not real. It's not reality. But I think there's now a generation where they probably feel so overwhelmed and so stressed because they want to have that lifestyle, which just isn't real.
I've had it myself. So I haven't had Botox for a while, so I've got wrinkles on my forehead. And I made an Instagram story the other day, and I watched it back and I deleted it because I could see the wrinkles on my forehead.
No.
I'm 36. I'm supposed to have wrinkles on my forehead.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's really bad, isn't it?
I think seeing people age is actually quite attractive.
Okay.
Like, I think, maybe it's because I'm 37 now, but I could never look at a 20-year-old female and think of her the way that I would when I was 20.
Yeah,
I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm the
like,
same.
I truly can't do it. But I could look at a 35-year-old woman and appreciate that under her clothes. She's not going to be pristine and perfect, but that's what I don't want that. Yeah. I personally don't look for that in a person. I don't want them to have this beach body ready, everything in the right place. No, it's I'm an older guy, man. It's weird. Like, I'd feel so weird being with somebody like that. I'd feel inadequate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It'd be a bit like if I'd a buff gym dude, I'd be eating cake in the corner.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Yeah. It'd be horrible. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You wanted to talk about a controversial topic, and I'm curious what it is.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a serious one, we could say. So in the UK, they are passing a bill to legalise assisted dying. So it would be in a medical setting. It's not like at home setting. The person would have to be legally sound, so of sound mind, be able to make the decision themselves and have to sign the papers to say that they were going to do that. They would also have to be terminally ill, like in agony or whatever. I completely agree with it. I think it's definitely a good thing. Obviously people go to Switzerland and stuff to end their life now, but they're not allowed anybody with them. They have to go by themselves. And it's still considered illegal if, like, someone does go with them and they come back, they can actually get arrested for, I can't remember what it's called. Is it like assisted murder or something like that?
Assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide, yeah. What do you think about it? Do you think we should have the right to die?
100%. I think if I, God forbid, had terminal brain cancer, what's the length of time that you're given? Is there like a stipulation?
I'm not sure. I don't know if, like, you'd have to meet certain criteria. So if you're in absolute agony but your life's prolonged, it could probably be something like that. So
okay.
I don't know if there's like a cut-off point, like you've got a month left to live.
So if I let's just say example, had terminal brain cancer and they gave me 6 months to live, for the first 3 months I won't see much change, but then the last 3 months I'm basically going to deteriorate into skin and bones, and my family and loved ones are going to see me in the most brutal way, and I'm personally going to suffer, then yes, I would love to end it before that happened.
Yeah.
If it was 100% concrete that it was inevitable that that's going to happen to me within a certain period of time, then yes, I would like to have that option myself and not go through and put my loved ones through that through that scenario, because I think it would be I've seen a loved one die of cancer and it was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a lot younger, so maybe I would have thought about it and experienced it differently now, but yeah, it wasn't very pleasant to watch or see, and that happened real quick. So it was my grandfather, and he was like the size of me. He was a big man, and then he went down to 7 stone and then died.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And I reckon if he could have ended it, because he used to say that he was in pain, I reckon if he could have ended it earlier and quicker and not go through that suffering, I think he would have.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, I think, why can't we?
Yeah, my grandparents too. Both of my grandparents had Alzheimer's, and at the end they couldn't do anything for themselves. They couldn't feed themselves. They had no quality of life. They didn't know who they was or where they was or who any of us were.
Yeah.
And towards the end, got really, really ill and just couldn't do anything. And you go and see them and it's literally heartbreaking. And I used to just think, like, my granddad, if he saw himself in that situation, he would not want that.
No.
He would not want to be in that situation. I don't think he'd be allowed to do it for like dementia or Alzheimer's because they're not of sound mind.
Yeah, they wouldn't be of sound mind.
And I can remember going, and every day you used to be like, please, just let him go now. Like, he's not got any more quality of life. Just let him be at peace now. And I can imagine it's the same for someone with like cancer or where you're just bedridden and you've got no quality of life.
Yeah.
I think it's quite cruel cruel to keep someone alive. Or
It's pretty brutal, isn't
force someone to stay alive.
It's pretty brutal.
Like we euthanize dogs that are in pain. So why don't we do the same for humans? It doesn't make no sense to me.
Because I think the reason we probably don't is this. So for example, me and you are brother and sister. Our mum's in pain. You think that she should be allowed to die. I think she shouldn't. You then let her die. I can then raise a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because I was unhappy. So that's probably
there's
why we
definitely
don't do
like scope for people to take advantage as well. So I can imagine like when it does happen, there'll be people that are trying to encourage someone to end their life because they're going to get an inheritance or I can imagine that's going to be an issue. But I still
Did it pass?
I think it's passed. I'm pretty sure it's passed.
I mean, I'm all for it, but I think as long as and it sounds stupid, but as long as the legal side's there
everything's got to be, there's got to be boxes that have to be ticked. So I think.
But ultimately, it has to be the person who's dying's decision.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, if I was dying and I was in pain, well, if you're not going to help me, I'll do it myself. If I physically could, I would.
If you had a loved one that was in absolute agony, they were coming to the end of their life, and they asked you to help them end their life, knowing that it's illegal and you could go to prison, what would you do? It's hard, isn't it? If they were begging you to help them just slowly slip
How long am I
away.
going to prison?
I don't know what the sentencing is, to be honest.
Right now, because I have young children, I wouldn't help. If my children were grown up.
It would be very hard to sit back and watch them suffer, though.
If my children were grown up, I'd help immediately. Because right now I have something to lose.
Yeah.
But if they were grown up and I could justify it to myself for the right reasons, I think I'd help.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think I would.
But I don't know, actually. I don't know, because I'm not in that situation, so I don't know.
It's very hard to just sit and watch someone.
You got to think, if you do that and help somebody, and then you get prosecuted for it,
your life is also over.
Your life's also over.
Yeah.
For a period of time. Whether it was the right or wrong decision, because of the legal system and the way it works, you get punished for that.
Yeah.
You would. And obviously because you'd be deemed a threat to society. But also if you write a Facebook status, you're deemed a threat to society now. So, which is fucking ridiculous. But that's another topic. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that in the next episode. I would love to talk about that topic in the next episode. I think it's ridiculous. So yeah, let's go into that.
I told my mum about her sister dying. She's obviously very religious Catholic lady.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's disgusting.
Really?
They shouldn't let that happen. It's a sin. And I was like, I said about the dog, I was like, if you had a dog and it was in agony, you would put it to sleep. You'd put it out its misery.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I suppose so, but it's still a sin. You go when you're meant to go.
Okay. But
yeah.
Have they sinned in other ways? I'm fairly certain they will have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's put that to bed. That is the end of the Confessional podcast. Let me start that again. That is the end of the Confessional podcast. You have been listening to yours truly, Rick, and the amazingly beautiful co-host Kimmi K. Please do remember to go and visit the website and go like, subscribe and share on YouTube and all of our social media platforms. If you would like to send anything in, or a topic or a subject that you would like to hear us discuss, please send it into the submission form on the website and you will go and check it out. And do remember that you have a chance to win a £50 voucher for Slim Chickens UK. So make sure you enter. Thank you very much for listening. Love you. Bye.